The Kitchen Angle Show. A Jersey native. Home of everything and anything. Your host, Mike.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Kitchen Angle. I'm the host of the show, Mike. And we got a lot to talk about today on today's show. I tell you what, I'm doing something special for not only for myself, but the listeners out there. I know you can't see me, but today I decided to take my show outside on my patio. Such a nice show. Not just nice show. Where's my words today? Such a nice day. The sun is bright, blue skies, not a cloud in the sky. I don't see any clouds in the sky today. It's a nice cobalt blue of what some weather forecasters are calling today's weather. Cobalt blue. Nice blue skies out there. Nice little breeze. I don't know if you can hear the breeze in the background, but it's a little breezy. It's not cold, but I mean it's in the 70s, about 75 out today in the Atlanta metro area. But it's nice. It's got a little breeze going through, and it feels good. But on to today's show, I talk about a lot of different things. I want to get into, first and foremost, I want to get into, what's going on around the country. As you can tell and see that some states are opening up their states. But some of the dems, the Democrats and, I'm sure other people in their states as well, too, feeling that this might be too soon to open up some states. States as Georgia and other states join them as reopening their states. But, guys, you can criticize all you want, about these states opening up too soon and this and that. But guess what, folks? You know what's going to happen? You keep these states closed down too much or too long, people are going to be, in their homes, ordered to stay at their homes, with the stay at home orders, travel only necessary, and people only allowed to be on the roads after certain types of hours are the essential workers, right? Okay, with that being said, let's go back what I was just saying. If you keep people isolated too long, way too long, you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to get massive riots. You're going to get people panicking more than they are now, and you're going to have people going into a state of depression. We're already seeing people going into a state of depression. The suicide rates are doubling. The depression rates for people that suffer, from depression and all those other psychotic episodes, with all due respect of me saying it that way, the mentality level of that is at an all-time high. And it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way at all. This thing should have been handled a little bit better? Yes, this thing should have been handled a lot better from the beginning. I say that every single time I run into somebody, whether it's a friend, a work colleague, or, anybody for that matter, even family, this thing should have been handled a lot better from the beginning, from the get-go. It should have. It should have been handled a lot better. Do I blame Trump for not handling it correctly? No, I don't blame Trump. I think he's handled it to the best ability that he can handle it at. But I do blame his government colleagues. I blame the Democrats for not taking it serious the way they should take it serious. And it's affecting them. And it's affecting Democrat governors too, across different states. You look at New York City right now. You look at the New York tri-state area, New Jersey, Philly, Boston area, that whole area, all run by Democrat leaders. Those states are at an all-time high with death rates from the coronavirus. And then they want to blame the Trump administration for not handling it correctly. Oh, our death rates are keep on rising and rising and rising and rising. Well, I tell you right now, folks, it's not the president's fault that you have high death rates from this disease in your state. You know, the reason why you have high death rates is because the way you run in your state. You can't blame a president because the president doesn't run your state. He runs the country, folks. The people that run your state are your local government, such as your governors, your mayors, and your law enforcements and first responders. Those are the ones that should be taking responsible actions for their states, not the president. The responsibility should come from what I just mentioned, those type of folks, not the president. Can't blame the president for New York having high death rates. He closed the country down, international travel back in, what was it, February, March? I think it was around that time frame. Yeah, close it down during that time frame. There is no international travel whatsoever allowed to be in this country until it's uplifted by the president. But that's his decision on when that happens, if it ever does happen. Will we ever see international travel in this country? I can't tell you we will, because we're not there yet. I mean, if you want my opinion on it, we shouldn't have international travel at all for a while, okay? Because we don't know where the hell this thing came from. We're just making accusations that it came from some type of Chinese lab somewhere in China. But we don't know where it came from. I said it the other day on the show. Could it came from outer space for all I know? You know, we don't know. We don't know where this thing came from. Should it be taken serious? Yes, it should be taken serious. But also, common sense should be also practiced here. You should use your common sense, folks. I keep on telling people. I don't know how much more I have to tell people this. Common sense, folks, will cure anything in this world. It really will. It's the common cure for anything in this world. Common sense. It really is. Common sense will cure anything. And if you don't believe me, go walk outside. Yeah. Go do an experiment right now. Go walk outside. I guarantee you'll probably see about 10 or 15 people around your neighborhood wearing masks, or wearing rubber gloves, or wearing some type of shield to protect themselves. What are you going to do? Are you going to walk up to that person and say, hey, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? How's your day going? Or are you going to walk the other direction? Not because you're being a jerk or being a rude person, but you're using common sense. You see a sick person, you walk the other direction. There you go. Bingo was his name-o, right? Guys, we got a lot more to say on the show, but we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back. Hey guys, if you're out there trying to look for a new product, a natural product, you want to get off the strong medications, the strong everything in this crazy world today we live in, look no further than HempWorks. HempWorks, what is it? Guys, it's a natural supplement. It's healthy for your body. It's through the natural blend of marijuana, but basically, it's crazy to say that, but HempWorks is actually legal, folks. You can buy it in stores, online stores, everywhere. Basically what it is an oil type of formula that you can basically spread all over your body. I'm telling you what, folks, this stuff works like wonders. It really does. It's a tremendous product. And I'm telling you what, I use it myself for things that, sometimes I go through, like headaches and just everyday stress levels. You apply it on your forehead, boom. God, it's like a miracle. I call it the miracle pill, so to speak. But it's oil based, and I tell you what, guys, that headache goes away within minutes. Try HempWorks. Just log on to HempWorks. .com. You can Google it, Hempworks, HEMPWORX. Make sure you put the X at the end. So it's Hempworks. Google that right now, guys. I'm telling you what, there's, oh boy, so many different products on their page that you can, you can scroll through, look at it, see if it's the right product for you first. And I'm telling you what, guys, this product, you're going to love it. They stand by their money too. So, Google Hempworks today, guys. You'll love it.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings. Like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, Granola, and Bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker, bring out the good.
Hey guys, we're back to the show here. As you can hear in the background, I'm outside here of the Kitchen Angle studio, doing it on my porch here. I decided to do it on my porch. Sometimes I go outside, I do the show outside when it's a nice day. It's a nice breezy day, nice little breeze going through, It's such a nice day. There's birds chirping in the background. I have the opportunity and the pleasure to live near the North Georgia mountains, so it's very peaceful here, and there's a lot of nature around me. I'm always surrounded by nature, whether it's you see a deer every now and then, a fox. Sometimes you see gray wolves. Sometimes, but other than that, it's very nice here. It's very nice. A lot of green scenery. Everything is coming back green now again. We didn't have a really bad, bitter winter here in Georgia, but it's been a mild winter here, I guess. But now everything is starting to come back, and it's starting to look really, really pretty here, really pretty. But today we're talking about a lot of different things. We're talking about how certain governors are wanting to blame the Trump administration for this whole COVID-19 situation, on how he could have handled it better. I have mixed thoughts on that, but I don't want to drag my show along with that. But it's just, it's a lot of different things. A lot of common sense should have been taking place when this whole thing, started. Which it didn't. It doesn't. You don't have to go to you don't have to go to Yale, or you don't have to go to a 5-star college or university to learn common sense, folks. You learn common sense from the day you're born up until the age you are now. Common sense you learn on yourself. Your own pace, so to speak. Because common sense, like I tell everybody, will cure anything. It really will. You just got to practice good common sense. You gotta be smart about things. You can't be stupid about things. And if you're stupid about things, well, like my mother would say, you can't fix stupid. Because once you're stupid, you're stupid. You just make poor decisions. But with that being said, folks, we're gonna get into other topics. Reading here that Pelosi is responding to Trump's payroll tax cut demand. And her answer is, well, what do you think her answer is? She said no way to it. Yeah, oh boy, you should, let's read more into this story here. Nancy Crazy Pelosi, that's what I call her. I'm starting to call her now the Ice Cream Pelosi. If anybody's seen that that video that surfaced on the internet probably about a week ago. Has it been a week? Looking at my editor here next to me. Has it been a week, Doug? About a week, right? Week and a half, yeah. About a week and a half, the editor says here. Oh, Doug, can't count that man down. He's a pioneer at what he does. He's been doing this for, Christ, a long time already. But yeah, Ice Cream Pelosi is responding to Trump's payroll tax cut demand. She says no way. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi responds to the president threat that he'll block the next coronavirus relief package unless Congress cuts payroll taxes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Donald Trump's threat that he's going to block the next coronavirus relief package unless Congress cuts payroll taxes. So Trump wants payroll taxes to be cut. If they don't cut them, then he's not going to release another coronavirus package. Because the Democrats, what they want to do now is they want to propose another coronavirus bill here. They want to have another bill sent out for $2,000 a month to every American, every, I guess, abled working American that can work, I guess, right? That's on an average payroll system in America. $2,000, yeah, oh yeah, $2,000. And I tell you, that's, here's my thought on it. The $1,200 or $2,400 or whatever you got back in April or, now last week, because it ran from, the beginning of April up to the beginning of last week here in May. The stimulus package, right? Everybody should have received the $1,200 if you're an individual or the $2,400 if you're married. And, I think it was an extra $500 if you had kids. But everybody should have received that by now. Okay, or still receiving it still, That was nice. Don't get me wrong. That was nice. A nice gesture on the President of the United States to roll that out, to help people out, for that month. Some people have been out of work for a month, 2 months, going on 3 months now. So it helped people out, pay a couple bills. But let me tell you something, folks, and this is where it's going to get a little drastic here on the show. People need to realize this, and the Democrats need to realize this, that you cannot continue to print money out, okay? And you can't print money out for one purpose. You can't continue to print money out. And the government cannot expect, the IRS, the Treasury, all that, to print money out. You can't. You simply can't print money from money that you don't have to begin with to print it. And you can't say, oh, by the way, here's another $2,000, folks. Here's this and here's, you're going to get $2,000 for the next, several months until we can figure this thing out. What the hell are you going to do to your economy? You're going to dump the economy upside down, folks. The economy's, you might as well just kiss the American economy goodbye. I mean, if that's what you're going to do, you might as well just kiss it goodbye. I mean, seriously. I mean, don't get me wrong. An average American would be like, wow, that's great. I'm getting $2,000 a month for just sitting on my rear end, not working, sitting at the house, eating bonbons, watching sitcoms on live television every day at my house, putting up with my kids, putting up with the husband, the wife, sitting at home, haven't had a haircut in probably about 2 months now, haven't been able to get out of my house. I mean, at this point, folks, you can clearly tell that Americans are turning into modern day cavemen and cavewomen, really. I mean, because some of us has been isolated in the house for, I don't know, about 2-3 months now, right? Going on the 3rd month. You're not allowed to leave the house unless you have to. You got to get groceries, and of course, you got to get fresh air every now and then, because the human anatomy, the human body wasn't designed to be isolated forever. I mean, you need to go out and you need to get that free vitamin D. Oh, people are going to look at me, Mike, what the hell are you talking about free? You have to pay for vitamin D. No, folks, you don't need to pay for vitamin D. You get it from the sky. It's called the mighty sun. You walk outside, you let the sun beat on your face, your body, and that's where you get vitamin D. You can't be locked in your house, folks, forever. You can't. You simply can't be locked in, because when you're locked in, what is it going to do? It's going to make you go a little nutty. You're probably going to sound like me right now because I'm a little heated up because of this subject. But, you can't be locked in, folks. And that's what the government is starting to realize. At least that's what the Republican governors are starting to realize. Because Republican governors are starting to realize that, hey, We got to open up our states little by little. And now don't open up the whole damn state all at once. Be smart about it, folks. Take correct measures. And that's what governors are doing. At least that's what red governors are doing. Republicans. They're opening up their states little by little. Because you cannot have somebody isolated inside of a house. Because that's the birth of socialism. That's the birth of communism, folks. That's communism's little brother, socialism. They're stepbrothers. They know each other very well. You want to look with socialism? You want to look at socialism. You can look at countries like Venezuela. You can look at countries like Cuba. Did it work for them? No, it did not work for them. They're still suffering from it. Once beautiful, flourished countries such as Venezuela. Beautiful country. Is it a beautiful country right now? No, the government tells people what they can and cannot do. When they can take a shit, when they can go outside, when they can do this, when they can do that. Do you want that for your country, for America? Do you want that? Do you want your government telling you where you can and cannot go? When you can go to the supermarket to get your food? When you can go this? When you can go that? If you want to take a jog, say you like to go jogging and you like to go walking down the street, do you want your local government, such as your police force, your police departments, your sheriff departments, telling you when you can and cannot go down that walking trail or go through the woods to take a hike? Do you want that here in America? Because I certainly don't want that. I certainly do not want that. And we need to tell old Ice Cream Pelosi, crazy Nancy Pelosi, that she's got to stop with her crazy demands. I mean, this is getting terrible, folks. It really is. Oh boy, it really is. It's getting bad little by little. But I mean, what can you do? You can't do much about it. You can't do much about it. All you have to do right for now is just put up with it. Put up with this crazy nonsense of a scenario. Because that's all it is, folks, is it's a crazy scenario that we're living through right now. You want my thoughts on it? This country is basically closed down for the common cold. I thought I would never see it.
Let me play for you what the president said about all your plans on Sunday. Listen to this.
You know, they want bailouts for the states, the Democrats, and really it's a number.
Yeah. I don't blame you, Trump. I don't blame you one damn bit. Just played a quick little soundbite. They want bailouts. They want this, they want that. Oh yeah, the Democrats, they want bailouts. They want bailouts so bad. It's terrible. But then you have Pelosi taking a vacation. Oh, yeah, she's taking a vacation. Oh, boy. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how the country is becoming today. You know, they demand this, they demand that. But then, like I said, you had Pelosi, a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, maybe, that did a little video from her house. Oh, yeah, showing custom ice cream and gelatos from her $24,000 refrigerator in our mansion. Oh, yeah. She's making a joke about it. You got to have this, you got to have that. Oh, and you got to have this. And, yeah, $24,000 refrigerator. Probably the ice cream inside there and the gelato, the Italian gelato, is probably, I don't know, there's probably about a good couple $1,000s worth of ice cream in her refrigerator. Making a joke about all this when you have people that are lined up out of work for 2 to 3 months, literally out of month for 2 to 3 months, literally relying on unemployment checks if they can get it. There's still people that are still trying to collect unemployment. Once people that had great jobs, 40, 50, 60, 70,000, 80,000, some reaching six-figure jobs. You know, they don't have those jobs anymore. Those jobs have been put on what's called a temporary hold, so to speak. So they're literally relying on unemployment if they have it, or if they haven't had it, they're trying to get their unemployment checks. But then you have Ice Cream Pelosi, that's literally showing stuff from her $24,000 refrigerator, while you have people every damn day that are going to food kitchens, soup kitchens, food banks, trying to get food to feed their families. Families that once made a really good living for themselves, but not now anymore because they've been placed on a temporary hold because of this whole coronavirus crap. Got me heated up, folks. It really does. Got me heated up, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Oh, boy. But like I said with the stimulus package, the stimulus check, will there be a second round in May of 2020? You know, we don't know that. We don't know if there's going to be a second round. I'm reading this article right now. The first round of the stimulus payment checks started being distributed by the IRS in April to help millions of Americans during the outbreak. Okay? Now, we all know this. More than 80 million Americans have received their stimulus check payment of $1,200 from the IRS. Okay? And some of the people got a little bit more depending on their family situations, such as if they're married or single or they have kids. Some of us got a little bit more. That's understandable. You got a bigger family, and your expenses are a little higher than the average individual. Okay, but this came after the government approved a $2 trillion relief package to counter this economic setback of the crisis. Okay, this was, folks, I don't know if you've realized this, but this was a $2 trillion stimulus package. It's the biggest damn package ever signed by a living president. The biggest stimulus package. Oh, well, Barack Obama signed the package back in, what was it, 2008, I think? But it was never as high as what Trump signed. Trump has signed the biggest stimulus package in American history. Okay? Now, there's good benefits of this package and there's bad benefits of package. I'll talk about the good benefits of this package. Okay? Because I got to take another break here. I'm getting a little heated up on the show here because there's a lot of topics today and a lot of topics that we face as Americans, currently that's just pissing me off. It really is. It's just pissing me off. But the good part about this benefit package is it has helped a lot of Americans here in this country. It paid maybe a couple bills, whether utility bill, cell phone bill, the water bill, maybe hell, it even paid your rent, maybe your car insurance. I mean, the list goes on, folks. You get the memo, right? But here's the bad part about it. Okay, this is $2 trillion, okay? Are you going to pay for this? No. I'm not going to pay into this, okay? My buddy's not going to pay into this. My neighbor's, definitely not going to pay into this. Oh, Mike, we got to pay into this. I understand we got to pay into this. But our generation, folks, and here's where the clause comes into it. Our generation, folks, is not going to pay a dime into this new debt that we now have in this country. $2 trillion. It's a pretty large amount of money. $2 trillion, It's not a million. It's a trillion with a T. Make sure you understand that. Our generation's not going to pay into this at all. It's going to be our children and their children's generation that's going to pay into this $2 trillion. Okay? Because by the time when they start working, whether, whatever age they are now, another 5, 10, maybe 15 years when they're able to work and stuff like that, you will see in your children's generation, and like I said, in their children's generation, if they decide to have kids, their taxes will rise at an historic high. And you ask yourself, why? Well, to pay for this debt. Okay? To pay for this debt. You remember that old Barry Obama, right? Barack Obama, right? When he was president, he put in his 8 years of his presidential tenure, he put in his presidency 17, right? Almost $18 trillion of a national debt into this country. That's a lot of damn money. $18 trillion. This is money, folks, that's just being printed literally by the government. We don't have a damn dime to print any of this money, but then the government just decides to print away. You know? I mean, it's like an 18 or a 19-year-old child that has a shopping addiction that goes to the mall every damn weekend and goes with their friends and their buddies and just buys junk that they don't need. This is your government, folks, that just spends away like it's nothing. $18 trillion of debt. You know where that went, right? Went overseas. Went overseas to, pay for their stuff that they absolutely desperately needed. Well, why? Well, you say one question. Why couldn't their government pay for this and that? Huh? Because it's easy to manipulate a country such as the United States of America. Oh, you hit the United States of America, they'll pay for anything. Let's just borrow money from them. Do they ever pay us back? No, they don't pay us back at all. I mean, you look at the national debt in this country, I think we're up to like, what, $26 trillion in debt? It's absolutely crazy. It really is. I'm telling you right now. In a way, I'm kind of, you're going to say this is kind of crazy me saying this, but in a way, I'm kind of glad that we're, we have a little pandemic in this country right now. I mean, I'm not glad that people are dying. It's sadness that you see people dying right now in this country from this thing. But in a way, it's kind of bringing us together as a country. We're becoming more united. We're becoming more family-oriented. Before this all happened, and I can say this, I would see families at the dinner table. What are they doing? They're eating food and the cell phone right next to them, right on the table. Checking their social media accounts, their Twitter accounts, making sure they post that current selfie of themselves on social media with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Christ. What am I missing any, Doug? Oh, boy. But this thing is bringing people more together. And there's people right now that's just like, they're making themselves go crazy because they're not used to having them, their family members around them so much, especially parents today. The kids are around them more than they ever was. But I tell you what, I'm going to go into this little brief here and then I'll move on to other things. Oh, you hear that wind in the background? It's beautiful here. It's beautiful. Anyways, I remember when I was a kid, I so enjoyed, growing up. Had such a healthy childhood. We didn't have Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Christ, I forgot the other ones, but I just named the 3 or 4 top ones that are out there today. But we didn't have all that crap that we have today. We didn't have email. We didn't have YouTube or Hulu or Netflix or, all these other streaming sites. We didn't have all that. I do remember having internet though as a child. I remember that because that was like right, Doug? The phase 1 or something like that of. I gotta relate to Doug. He's more smart here. He knows all his technology. He's more into the technology than I am. But we had the internet, but I want to call it like the phase 1 of your internet, right? It was you dial-up internet. You remember the dial-up internet where, you would get that sound? Everybody knows that sound. You had to put the phone wire inside the, into the computer, and that was dial-up internet, And that's how you got your internet back then. There wasn't any Wi-Fi or wireless internet back then. What wireless internet? Wi-Fi, what was that? You would tell yourself, back in the 90s. I mean, seriously. And oh boy, my mother would know when I was on the internet. Because, when my mother would try to call the house line, and then you ask yourself, what the hell's a house line? What's that? And there wasn't any cell phones back in the day. We didn't have cell phones back in the day. When my mother tried calling the house, she'd get a busy tone. And she knew I was on the internet. when you got the busy tone, because it was, it was connected to the phone wire. That's how you got your internet. And believe it or not, folks, we had to pay for our internet back then, and it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap at all. But I'm so glad that I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I think that was probably the most peaceful generations then. I'm sure the 70s and 60s were nice too, but I can't relate because I wasn't born in the 60s or 70s. My childhood, was in the 80s and 90s. But I don't know how I would react to being born in the 2000s and growing up, in the 2000s. Because these kids today, they don't realize how good they have it. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, social media, they have all this stuff, laptops, tablets, all this crap that they have today. Didn't exist in my childhood. We actually, we interacted in my childhood. We went outside, we played with our friends. My mother would allow us to do that. My mother didn't have to worry about nut jobs in the neighborhood, and all this crap. My mother knew every neighbor on the block. Every neighbor on the block. She knew where we were. She didn't have a problem. You didn't have a problem then. But I tell you what, when that street light came on, you better get your ass home. Oh boy, oh boy. You would have hell to pay if you didn't. If you weren't home at a certain time, if you weren't home at 5 o'clock, I tell you right now, 5 o'clock, if you weren't home by dinner time, oh boy, I would be grounded. No going outside with my friends, I'd be sent right to my room. But these kids today, they don't understand how good they have it today. Oh boy, what can you do? What can you do, right? What can you do? Well, you can't do much. You just have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. You really do. But I got a lot more to say on the show here. I'm going to take a quick little break. Like I said, I'm getting a little heated here on the show. I need another break, water break here. And we'll be right back. I got some more topics here. I want to get into AOC. Oh boy, she's blowing up topics like never before. The bartender from Queens in the Bronx. Yeah. We'll be right back, folks, after these words. You don't want to miss it.
The Kitchen Angle Show, an Anchor podcast, a show of meaning, determination, motivation, anything to get through your crazy day life.
Hey guys, back to the show. I hope you're enjoying today's show. Hope you enjoyed the episode before this episode. I said I had my good buddy Ryan on the show. It's always a pleasure to have Ryan on the show. There's a lot of political views and thoughts just like I do. That's why I always invite him back to the show. He's such a great asset to the show. I had a good phone call with Ryan. You want to hear that episode, you can hear that episode anywhere you listen to a podcast, whether it's Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify. I mean, anywhere you listen to a podcast, you just Google or search The Kitchen Angle, and it'll pop right up on your internet browser. It's also have a Facebook page, The Kitchen Angle, and then my new Twitter page, at The Kitchen Angle. So, just search for that. It's a great bit of information I share on the show. Excuse me. So to take a little water break here, but we're getting pretty close to wrapping it up here soon here on the show. I do want to get into this new article here I see with AOC coming out of the National Review yesterday. Some free advice for AOC. Oh boy, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if anybody wants to hear this, but so Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez everybody knows, the former bartender in her right mind. She's a Democrat of New York. This came yesterday. Out of yesterday here on the National Review. I guess some people giving some free advice for AOC because she's getting a little off her mindset. I think the woman is crazy, to be honest with you. Everybody praising her to be such a great representative of that district there in New York, but I don't think she's a good representative. I've never been a good fan of the Democrats. I don't get them. I think they have very poisonous minds and their agendas are off, and I don't know. But anybody cares to understand this article or this subject, I'll read into it here, because like I said, getting pretty close of wrapping it up here on the show. But according to the article here, Representative Cortez is feeling a little blue. Oh, one sympathizes. In her first year in office, Cortez showed all the signs of someone making the DeCola era of believing her own publicity. She was arrogant, vain, petty, and foolish, and vindictive. Oh, I can tell you she was vindictive. I mean, this woman she's poisonous, If they come out with another Batman movie and they need a role of Poison Ivy, this woman would be an ideal role for it, so to speak. I mean, she would fit that role very, very well. But nothing of embarrassing and arrogant or ignorant, such as that matter. You remember, we're in charge, and you're just shouting from the cheap seats. It's more important to be normally right than being precisely factually and sympathetically correct. Her cocksure intelligence on Middle Eastern issues. That was her statement. Perhaps you would have done a great deal better if you have taken a seat in the House at 29. I am not confident that I would have. Since then, she has suffered a 1-2 punch. She arrived in Washington thinking she was going to be thinking she was going to go be a force for radical change, but ran into an object that is democratically impossible. Discovering that she was an idealistically young Latina representing the Bronx and Queens, and a party run by Nancy Pelosi and other rich old white people who like things the way they are. Politicians second, social lights first. And then she learned that a great manner of non-white, middle to lower income voters she believes to be her semi-private belief do not share her taste for socialism or radicalism on the Bernie Sanders model, and threw her support to Joe Biden instead. Oh, so this is coming from the National Review. Who wrote this? Oh, Kevin Williamson. Okay, so I guess Mr. Williamson is trying to give her some advice. So she ran with this socialism for a year, right? And she's realizing that it's not working here in America. I don't have to be the person to tell you this. And I know Donald Trump has said this many times in his speeches, that this country, folks, will never have socialism whatsoever. There'll be another civil war in this country if that would ever happen. And I'm sure Miss Cortez is understanding that. You will never have socialism, fascism, or any type of communism in this country. You won't. Because the American people, even people that are Democrats, all right, that believe in democratic agendas and stuff like that. They won't even stand for that. Folks, it won't happen. Well, you see a lot of stuff that happened in the last couple of months. You can understand. Ask me, hey, Mike, it's happened a little bit. Yeah. And maybe we had a little bit of a taste of socialism in the last couple of months in this country. So what's been going on with this coronavirus, governors and, local state officials, closing down states and restaurants and curfews in place. Yeah, we had a little taste of it. Don't get me wrong. But you won't have a full force of socialism. And I think that's what Miss Cortez is understanding. Because, now she's throwing her support to Joe Biden instead. Which is a smart move. But like I said, I never believed in Cortez at all. I never believed in her agenda. I think she's a very immature young lady. Is she 29, 30 years old now or something? I don't know. But, she should just go back to being what she's good at, and that's a bartender, from Queens and the Bronx. She, and quite frankly, what's funny is she's not from that area at all. She's from upstate New York, and she talks about every time you ever hear her talking in her speeches. Sometimes she's always talking like, "Oh, the people of Bronx and Queens and everything are I believe in them, and how can you speak on their behalf?" First of all, you didn't grow up in the area. You grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth. Then you went off to college and you did this and you did that. Then you became a bartender. Why don't you go back to doing what you do, is being a bartender and making drinks for people? Because you know how to do that. You don't know how to run a district. Don't tell people that you know what's best for that district of Queens and the Bronx. You don't know that. You don't know. Cortez, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Just go back to being a bartender. That's what you're good at. It's just... She's, But then she feels that, you got to listen to this next part. I was very in my feelings big time, and I felt very discouraged, and I was just, heartbroken, she said. I have, essential crisis over it. I'm a former bartender, and I think what's best for Queens and Bronx, and I believe in those districts, and the people they don't know what they're doing, and I want to be there for them. She's a millennial, right? She's a millennial, and that's how she talks. Everything is with the word because that's how millennials talk. Everything is with a at the end of a sentence, or in the beginning of a sentence, or in the middle of a sentence. Everything is the word It has to have the word in it. Everything. And that's how she talks. This is your representative from that district of New York. Crazy. It's crazy. But with that being said, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I had a lot of heated topics today onto the show. I get a little heated on this show here. I don't apologize for that. Hey, it's unscripted. It's raw material. It is. This show is very unordinary. I get into a lot of different types of topics. And I welcome a lot of my listeners, too, on the show, too. If you have any thoughts or opinions on the show, you want me to try different approaches, you even want to be an aspect, so to speak, on my show, just leave me a message on my Facebook page, or, send me a tweet on my Twitter page. And I'd love to have your thoughts and opinions of what we're facing today in the country, or anything for that matter. You got a question you want to ask me, or, anything. Feel free to leave me a message. With that being said, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I'm going to get going here, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, guys.
You just heard an episode of the Kitchen Angle Show, an Anchor podcast.